Welcome to Uncommon Knowledge. I'm Peter Robinson. By the way, be sure to look at our site on Facebook, facebook.com/UNC Knowledge. Submit questions, comments, suggest guests, facebook.com/UNC Knowledge. A former federal prosecutor and a federal judge on the United States Third Circuit Court of Appeals, Michael Chertoff served as Secretary of Homeland Security from 2005 to 2009, the second term of George W. Bush's administration. He is also the founder of the Chertoff Group, a security and risk management firm, and the author of Homeland Security, Assessing the First 5 Years. Michael Chertoff, welcome.
Good to be here.
Segment 1, the obvious segment, Osama. 2 quotations. George W. Bush, September 13th, 2001, quote, "The most important thing is for us to find Osama bin Laden. It is our number one priority," close quote. Same man, George W. Bush, March 13th, 2002, quote, "I don't know where bin Laden is. It's not our priority," close quote. How important was it for us to find Osama bin Laden?
Well, I think it was important from a number of standpoints. First of all, it was important in terms of our own psychology. It brought a measure of closure, although I hate to use that word, but kind of psychological closure.
Right.
It did demonstrate that we had brought justice to bin Laden, as President Bush originally promised a couple days after 9/11. So from that standpoint, I think it was very valuable to us. It also demonstrated that the U.S. is capable of projecting power in a way that can be very deadly for our adversaries, and that's an important lesson. In terms of what it means for the future of terrorism, though, it doesn't eradicate al-Qaeda or dramatically change their capabilities, because they have built up over time a cadre of experienced leaders who will continue to carry on what they've been doing.
Is it as bad for the bad guys' morale as it has been good for ours?
I think it probably is a strike at their morale, because for a period of time, they obviously felt that by eluding us, bin Laden was somehow demonstrating that he's, blessed by God or has some kind of a natural advantage. But I would say that they will now retranslate that narrative into a different narrative, which will be about how he's martyred and how you have to continue to fight in his name. Perhaps most interesting, and I don't know how they view this, is the fact that he was not killed on the front line in a cave, but he was killed back in a compound very far back from where the actual combat is occurring, and that may have a certain impact on morale.
2 quotations. John Yoo, writing in the Wall Street Journal, quote, "Sunday's success," that is the killing of bin Laden. He's writing the week after we killed bin Laden. "Sunday's success vindicates the Bush administration. George W. Bush, not his successor, constructed the interrogation and warrantless surveillance programs that produced this week's actionable intelligence," close quote. That's John Yoo. Here's an editorial in the New York Times. Quote, "There is no final answer to whether any of the prisoners tortured in George W. Bush's illegal camps gave up any information that eventually proved useful in finding bin Laden, no matter what Mr. Yoo and friends may claim. The real lesson of the bin Laden operation is that it demonstrated what can be done with focused intelligence work and persistence." Whose side are you on?
Well, I have to say the truth lies between the two poles in this sense. Yeah. No one can actually ever say there's a particular single piece of information that leads directly to bin Laden getting discovered and then being killed. I mean, it's not going to be a single piece of information. As I think everybody from my partner Michael Hayden to other people who are experienced have said,
Michael Hayden, former director of the
CIA,
right.
As they've all said, this has been a process of assembling intelligence over time. Now, a good deal of this was human intelligence, meaning intelligence that was gained from interrogating detainees. And much as the New York Times may not like it, that has been very valuable in a whole host of ways. On the other hand, there have been other factors as well, including electronic surveillance, which the New York Times also doesn't particularly care for, and other kinds of intelligence gathering. So it's never going to be possible to say, had we not done this one thing, something else would have resulted. But I do think it's fair to say that had we not had the kind of broad programs that the Bush administration put in, we would be far behind where we are now, in not only in terms of intelligence gathering, but in terms of the ability to translate that intelligence into actionable information, yielding the kind of success that we saw a couple of weeks ago in Abbottabad.
Okay. Well, I want to pursue that one more to the extent of one more question. So would it be the case then that the Obama administration has benefited and now knows it has benefited from policies that it derided during the presidential campaign?
I would say it's fair to say, and I think that probably the people in the Obama administration would acknowledge this, that the progress that has been made in their tenure is a direct result of the foundation and the progress that was made in the prior administration. And at the same time, the prior administration owes the current administration the credit for continuing policies that worked and leaving partisanship and campaigns at the doorstep and getting into the Situation Room and doing things based on what is going to protect the American people.
Should the Attorney General drop the investigation of the CIA agents whom this administration says may have been implicated in illegal activities surrounding waterboarding? And
I have to say, I mean, this investigation has, again, from my perspective at a distance, gone on way too long. If there was something to be charged that was a real charge, someone should have brought the charge. At this point, I would really stop the cloud hanging.
And now
over
you're
people's
talking
heads.
as a prosecutor as well as someone an expert in national.
Look, as
if you've got a case, bring it.
That's right. And if you
All
have
right.
a case, and it's also got to be a case that you evaluate in terms of, are you going to win it? Does anybody seriously think a jury is going to convict somebody because of perhaps stepping slightly over the line, with the motivation being not some personal agenda, but to protect people and to yield the kind of result?
When the defense will call the former Vice President of the United States, Dick Cheney, to come in and say, these men saved lives.
Well, they could call current members
could call
of the
you.
administration.
Right. All
They
right.
could call current members of the administration. And so I don't think this is going anywhere. But I think it's also in fairness. Look, if you send people in harm's way, provided they're acting in good faith. Now, I don't mean someone has a personal agenda.
There's no suggestion they weren't acting in good
Correct.
faith, is there? No one has
People
suggested
are
such a
acting
thing.
in good faith to try to protect the American people. I don't understand how you don't get their back.
Got it.